It's the Pod in the City weekly roundup. I'm John.
And I'm Amanda. This week, we give our regards to Broadway with a ton of Broadway news and even more Broadway snark.
The 2025 Oscar nominations were announced this week. Our question, can we buy a nomination too?
And don't say we don't make sacrifices for our audience, guys, because we watched Emilia Perez.
Torture. All this and so much more on this week's episode of the Pod in the City weekly roundup. Hey guys!
Hello. Welcome to the Pod in the City weekly roundup.
We're pumped. I'm pumped.
I'm so pumped. I'm actually pretty pumped.
We actually have so much shit to get into, so we are going to get right into it because Amanda does have a consultation, y'all. So don't ask what the consultation's about.
Yeah, we'll just let you guys let your imaginations run.
Type your worried comments in the comments section. Just kidding. It's fine. It's actually nothing. But hi, guys. Welcome.
Hi.
We are so glad that you're here live every Wednesday at noon, Mountain Standard Time, baby. We want to get started with a couple things that we're dropping this week. First of all, is one, you can subscribe to my YouTube. It's called Open That Doll. I made this little banner. Isn't it cute? Then check out our episode of Sex and the City, Season 3, Episode 5. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is the intro of Aiden, y'all. And we go into detail about how we think Aiden smells. There is a large chunk of time dedicated to whether pheromones is a woman thing or a man thing. And we realize it's both, baby. Yeah. We also, on our Patreon, we did Golden Girls. That was No Lady, where Dorothy gets it on with a married man.
Dorothy is so horny in this
episode. Also, Amanda and I had a crazy... Oh, so that's over on our Patreon. I have to stop. I have to chill the roll for a second here. Check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/podinthecity. Over there, it's $6 a month. You get early ad-free access to our Sex in the City episodes, and you get an extra episode, which are those Golden Girls episodes. Last week, we did Pillow Talk, where Amanda gets real sexy. I mean, we both talk about... I mean, I don't know if she takes her top off, guys, so it's worth it.
We talked more about sex yesterday, too.
Yes, I also did come out on the Sex and the City episode as a straight man, just to cover my bases with the shit that's going on here. I'm going to need to, if everyone else can rewrite history, so can I. Yes, God.
He loved that.
Anyway, Amanda and I had a super, super fun time because we got to be guests. I am still learning how to be a guest, because I still like to talk too much and interrupt. So I'm kind of, I wouldn't say I'm the best guest, but Amanda's a good guest. We were on the Surreality podcast with Erica Hensel. And this podcast, they cover like shows from like the VH1 era of stuff, like Rock of Love.
Rock of Love. Like the early
Real
2000s.
Life.
Yeah.
We did an episode of a show called Surreal Life Fame Games that is only accessible on Daily Motion, which you guys, you know my problems. And y'all, if you are a regular watcher here, you know I had issues watching that shit on Daily Motion.
Just slow your roll for a second. I want to thank Jen for the super sticker. Woo! John,
this is when I get misty. Thanks,
you're on your period too.
I am. It's raining here today. Weirdly.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, obviously, with the state of the world, I am in a downward spiral at all times. Yeah. So I am trying. I'm constantly like, okay,
Jody's here.
Jody. I was like, who's Jody Smith? But I get it.
I know it's every time I'm like, who the fuck
Jody
is this?
Smith. Jody! Oh my gosh,
hey,
we have a celebrity in our midst.
We do.
Anyway, hi Jody.
Thank you. Wait, really quickly. We have a voicemail. You guys can leave a voicemail. We're gonna do a mailbag every 5th week on our Patreon, and you guys can access the link in the YouTube thing right now. And then when it comes out on audio later, there'll be a link in there too.
Over there, you can send us 30-second messages about kind of whatever you want.
Yeah,
if you want advice, I'm like itching for someone to send us a question where we need to give them like life-changing advice.
I am not.
Like, should I move across the country and leave my family? I need to, you know, just guys. God. I now feel manic. I'm feeling like in a manic
You always
state.
do this to me and Jody. You pop in and everything just comes to a grinding halt.
Anyway, let's get into this.
Get it while it's hot.
Topics. Oh, baby. First thing, the Oscar noms came out.
I mean, it's not surprising, at least. Oh, and by the way, guys, we teased at the beginning, but we both watched Emilia Perez.
Yes. So that's what I was going to say is Amanda and I decided that because we are musical connoisseurs and we don't want to be talking out of our ass completely and dogging Emilia Perez without getting a scope of understanding and why is it 13 nominations? Anyway, we watched it last night, so stay tuned because we're going to talk about that in the movie corner.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to just go through the nomination categories, and we're going to give our opinion. I think we should go from like backwards a little bit here, right?
Oh, so throw them up, whatever. I mean, it's insane.
Original score, okay? Oh. Now.
This was the one, because I was going to take a screenshot of just like the top 5 categories, right? And then I came on this and I was like, I'm going to screenshot this one too.
Thank God, because this drove me crazy. Because, guys, here's an example of the score of Emilia Perez. With people going, wow, blah, 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 blah.
That is true.
Is that not like almost an accurate representation?
I actually thought the music was okay, but it's not.
I'm gonna say
it's not wicked. My God.
And I mean, it is in. I was live texting Amanda during Emilia Perez and being like, in what world is this Emilia Perez great? Oh, that is the one application I'll use for poo. Fine. I will accept it. But like I was like, in what world is this even close to being as good of a musical as Wicked? How is this even? And Amanda's like, you can't even compare them. I'm like, but they're being nominated against each other, so you have to. The job here is to compare them. Oh, best director. Now here I'm pissed. John Chu. Again.
No, like that is crazy.
Again. That is my number one anger. Number one, that man built a entire like world out of references of like, just like the word. I'm just like.
It does not make any.
Watch the sequence of The Wizard and I and tell me that John Chu doesn't deserve a fucking Oscar. Are you kidding? You're kidding.
Who do you think's gonna win this?
I'm sure fucking stupid ass Emilia Perez person, this French dude who didn't even research Mexico once. I'm so enraged about Emilia Perez. They didn't even film any of it in Mexico. They filmed it all on sound stages in France.
When I say I watched it last night, like.
Okay, well,
it was
okay.
On.
We need to. Yeah, it's hard because. Let's just continue. Best animated. Now, Flo won the Golden Globes. I still sadly haven't been able to see it because I've seen all the rest of these, though. I saw Memoir of a Snail, really liked it. Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. I watched that on Netflix. Loved it. I love the Wallace and Gromit movies. They're so cute. Wild Robot, absolutely effing loved it.
Yes, yeah. I'm
Inside Out 2, really good as well. Flo, I put this on my top movie list on my roundup of 2024, even though I hadn't seen it, because I knew I was gonna like it. It's about a cat like traveling around with a dog and stuff, and I love that shit. So great. Best Supporting Actress. Now, I do think Zoe Saldana did a good job.
Yes, I mean, we'll get into that again more later. I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, she should have an Oscar. I don't know if it should for this, but she is really good.
I do actually think this is going to be controversial. I do think that her role is more deserving than Ariana Grande in Wicked.
Maybe.
Because that's my only basis here was like, I know there's a clamoring of like, should Ariana win it? And then people are like, well, the only person who's going to beat her is probably Zoe Saldana. But when I watched Zoe Saldana in the movie, I was like, oh, she does her own dancing. I found out that Ariana Grande has a dance double in Wicked.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
So like in Dancing Through Life, there are big chunks where it's like,
yeah, but she's dancing in a lot of it.
Double. No.
All right. Well,
Jonathan Bailey's dancing the whole time.
Oh, yeah, saying. For sure.
Okay, so Best Actor, I really want to see Sing Sing.
I do too.
Because I think I will bawl my eyes out, but I have to be in the right.
Sure.
Now, I'm pissed because this is going to go to Adrian Brody. And guys, guess what? They used AI to improve his accent in the movie.
Huh? Really?
Yes, and they used AI in Emilia Perez to fix people's singing.
Well, you can tell that. I mean, obviously. Although it wasn't even.
I actually think if you use fucking AI, you should be disqualified from awards. What are we awarding? A computer system? No artistry went into that. I'm disgusted. Oh my God.
Cynthia Erivo should obviously win this, but obviously she's not going to. So the other ones, I'm definitely rooting for Demi Moore. I thought Carla Sofia was also very good in Emilia Perez.
I did too. I just didn't think that her singing was very good. Let's be honest.
It was bad.
And honestly, the story of the movie was just the most ridiculous, absurd.
I mean, actually, okay, well, we're going to argue on the movie because I actually liked it a little bit, but okay, we'll get to it. I didn't think it was horrible.
Amanda did text me and say, oh, after 15 minutes, it was kind of like, okay. And
I said it was watchable. It becomes watchable after about 15 minutes.
Best picture. I'm thinking, like, I don't want it to go to Emilia Perez, but I also don't want to go to The Brutalist because The Brutalist, they used AI. I'm sick of it. Go to The Substance.
They're going to have to make a category of AI. Yeah, maybe they should do that. That should be part of, like, the editing.
Or Wicked.
Stuff.
I'd give it to Wicked. Fuck it.
For Best Picture? Or for AI?
Wicked. For Best Picture.
Yeah, well... No,
Wicked.
Somebody asked me my favorite movies. I'm on Tinder again. So somebody asked me my favorite movies, which I always got locked and loaded. I got those top 5, can name them anytime. But then now I'm starting to write, like after I do my 5, I'll write, but then Wicked's kind of there too, but it's just kind of there.
I would agree that the nominees do feel kind of weak this year.
Yeah, like, I'm not excited about this at all.
Standing out like,
I was excited about Wicked, but it's clearly not going to win anything.
Well, and I saw Anora, which is another one that they were gassing up hard, and I'm like,
I don't think it's going to win anything either. But we've at least seen the big winner of the year. So maybe we'll be surprised. Do you want to move on to the newest gossip in town? The gossip that keeps on gossiping.
Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, baby. Here's what's going on here. Every 12 hours, my opinion goes back and forth and back and forth as new things come out. And whatever. Yeah. Now voicemails have come out that he sent to her where he's like, hey, Blake, I know it's kind of late. It's 2 a.m. So
wait, hang on. Let me ask a question. What are they trying to, like, what are they trying to prove? Is he trying to prove that she was asking for it and she's trying to prove that he...
I think it started actually that, during the press tour or whatever, there was all that bad press about her. And they're saying that his people planted it as like a...
She is
I'm saying I'm going to put allegedly on all this because I am only slightly more informed than Amanda about it. And that's based on watching 12 TikToks. So guys, please don't take any of this for word. And Justin and Blake, please don't sue me. Allegedly. I think that there was some weirdness going on. I do think that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively really ran in there and took over this production that Justin Baldoni had bought the rights to, was the director of, and everything. There is one thing that shook me up a little bit this week was this email that came out. Now, it is long and it's so tiny that you're not going to be able to read it. And when I started reading it to Amanda yesterday, she was like, are you really going to read all that on the thing? So this is what I'm going to say.
Long. Can you just sum it up for us?
this is about because some of this needs to be read. So she's talking about Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
As for Taylor and Ryan, I'm the luckiest motherfucker on the planet to have them as my dance moms level stage moms. They're embarrassingly effusive. That said, they're also my most trusted partners and the people I go to first. Taylor Swift.
What does she have to do with this?
She's her bestie and her creative oeuvre. Her and Ryan are her two powerhouses. They're her dragons, and she is Khaleesi. That said, they're also my most trusted partners and the people I go to first with anything creative I touch. And I'm the person they each go to first. So she is claiming that Taylor Swift, when she writes her shitty ass songs, she sends them over to Blake Lively to listen to and be like, oh yeah, this sounds just like every other one. She whining about some bullshit. Sorry, shots fired at Taylor Swift. I didn't, I want to read, I think it's insane. I'll jump to the last paragraph of it. Both Ryan and I'm thinking she's saying T have established themselves as absolute titans and as writers and storytellers outside of their primary gig, just singing or just acting or blank, just directing. I'm so lucky to have them as creative barometers, but also to have them as the people who prop me up and make sure I'm seen for all I can and do offer, because they know firsthand all I contribute. They also know I'm not always as good at making sure I'm seen and utilized for fear of threatening egos or fear of affecting the ease of the process. They don't give a shit about that. And because of that, everyone listens to them with immense respect and enthusiasm. So I guess I have to stop worrying about people liking me.
Really quick question.
Blake Lively
why did she write this? Like, what is this in response to?
There is a link in here in the middle that she is saying that she was fixing some of the pages that Justin Baldoni or whoever had written, and she sent them over to Justin Baldoni. Every day they'll write shit on a movie and then add things, take things away. She claims that Ryan Reynolds wrote some scene in the movie that's very famous that people said sucked anyway. And she was, I feel, when you watched all the press stuff, she really was trying to make this like, I'm this amazing woman. I've done all the shit. My clothes are in this movie, blah, 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 blah. And when it backfired on her and people were like, we hate you and everything you've done to this movie, I think now she's like, well, actually, I'm just like one of you guys. Like, I'm just trying to be me. And everyone tries to take over because which she didn't have a place for. But the big thing is a lot of people may be saying, allegedly, that there may have been some feelings caught by someone here, whether it's Blake Lively for Justin Baldoni or them for each other. Right. And that's what they're ruminating on, is that there's a clip that came out of them filming a scene. Okay. It's he's directing, right? Okay. They're dancing at this thing and they're talking to each other. You can hear what they're saying because it's a thing that they were going to just have music playing over. Okay. So he's like, oh, my nose. Sorry, my nose is in the way. It's so big. She's like, your nose is big. You should get a nose job. Or she doesn't say that exactly. Okay. And then they do this thing where he is smelling her neck or whatever. And she's like, oh gosh, I probably smell or whatever. He's like, no, you smell good. You smell like you're, she's like, oh, my self-tanner or whatever. He's like, it smells good. No, you smell good. And then the second that he's done, he's like, okay, cut. His face drops out of the scene. And she still kind of has this
she's in the twilight
feeling how what goes on in a thing where you're very you are this close to a person. You're you're you could get a little kind of way. And so maybe when he was like, this bitch is trying to take over my thing, she wasn't she was just I don't know. I'm going to just say allegedly for all of it, because at this point we still don't know the full story, but this to me,
I still don't really understand why she so who released this?
I believe Justin's team. I think Justin's team released this as a piece of the evidence in the trial.
To prove what? Just that she's
to prove what annoying. She was doing, how she was continuing to manipulate the production, how her and Ryan Reynolds ran
You're,
everything
like,
over. And what she
there.
does say
Okay.
in the end, she almost throws Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift under the bus here in the end, being
Sounds
like
it. It
they
sounds like it.
never let anyone tell them what to do. They're badasses for that. And it's like, okay, girl. Anyway, I'm done with that now. Thank you and good night.
Taylor Swift is like, keep my motherfucking name out your motherfucking mouth.
Jen, I would say this, you know what makes me question Taylor as a judge of character? Her being like photographed with Brittany Mahomes, famous MAGA supporter on the field of the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sick of it.
Jody says Blake didn't want Justin, but she did want him to want her. Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Sarah, totally, Jody. Some women have to feel like every man in the room wants them. It's immaturity.
That's me. There's a girl on this season of Below Deck who, her name's Danny. They just finished the season. It's Below Deck Sailing Yacht, and she got with every single man on the boat, and then like a new guy shows up the very first day. She makes out with him. Like, so that I would say it's so that no one else has a chance to even like try with these guys.
Yeah.
So she did that to like 5 different guys. And then she acted like, anyway, I was like, girl.
I've met countless women like that because we used to do theater. Well, it was like a pissing contest. I'm like, I don't want any of them.
Guys, hold tight because we will have a Broadway section.
Oh, yes, we will. Okay,
I got really excited. This is just an update from last week, okay? Now, this was my saga, and this is Lady Gaga.
Like, what is this screenshot? It's just black.
Lady Gaga
No, leave it.
Is releasing a new album. It's called Mayhem. They kind of teased it last week. And we didn't know what it was called, but it was being like ran around that it was called Mayhem. Well, it is called Mayhem, baby. And this was the TikTok that came up to promote it. It was like flashing images. And so I kept trying to like screenshot.
Yeah.
And it would just be like black screen. I did catch this. I caught this. And I did catch this. It's going to drop on March 7th, 2025. And I've heard clips of a bunch of the songs. I'm actually really pumped. I've been really down for Gaga, like the last albums majorly. I loved her back in the day, but then I was kind of like, in her Tony Bennett area and all that. And I didn't really like Joanne, her country-ish album. Sorry, guys. But anyway, Lady Gaga, Mayhem.
Did you see that she was nominated for a Razzie for Joker? I bet she's so upset.
I'm not surprised.
I don't know if she's the type of person that can take a joke like that.
I think maybe she would. I'd like her too, because remember when like Halle Berry went to the Razzies? Wasn't it Halle Berry? Or was it Sandra Bullock? It was someone.
Both of them did.
They went, the year they won their Oscar. Salo Holloway, thank you. Oh my God, that girl. Like, I usually am like, whatever. I don't mind a girl who jumps around, but it's like, girl, take a chill pill. Speaking of taking a chill pill, Bruno Mars released music this week. And this was the, one of the TikToks that sent me over the edge about it. It was this woman. She's like, Bruno, what happened to catching grenades and taking us to the moon? And the new song is called Fat, Juicy, and Wet. And he's like, fat, juicy, and wet. And it
sounds like my last week. Sounds like the last week of my life.
If you want to hear about that, check out the Patreon. Patreon.com/podcast.
I've been exceptionally hormonal this month, and I cannot figure out why. Like, it hit me.
Well, sometimes it hits you like that. And it did hit her too, because I cried laughing at the
is it like sexy? Is it sexy?
It is very well. I think people are just so used to him having like wedding songs type things, and then I don't know why you would think he wouldn't be. I mean, he seems very horny. Okay, Broadway time, baby. All right.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
There's some crossover here now. Nick Jonas is going to be playing Jamie in a production of The Last 5 Years with Adrienne Warren. Adrienne Warren, she played Tina Turner, I think, in the Tina Turner musical, and I think she has a Tony. She's great. They released clips of them singing different songs. He was singing Moving Too Fast. People are like, I have no idea what any of this is, but
I sent it to you, and I was like, I feel I didn't even click in the comments because I knew that people were going to be like roasting his ass, but I thought it was fine. But then I think you responded, I don't know, with like it's like mid or whatever. But then right after that, Norbert Leo Butz came up singing it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, like you can't compare.
Did you see the clip of Norbert Leo Butz performing like the
Yes.
like from a like? Oh,
was he like considered hot? I thought he was. Yeah, I guess that's Fierro.
Because he was Fierro.
Like, yeah, but I always thought, but I guess like when I started like loving him, it was during Dirty Rotten Scoundrels when he had like a dad bod.
Well, yeah.
So I always thought he was like a character actor.
Yeah. Well, here's my feeling. Nick Jonas sounded okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's something he's gonna at all be able to sustain. Because he had his veins were just bulging out of his neck. And this is just to sing like, and I'm not being a bitch, but if you are a tenor who has sung tenor, you can sing the song Moving Too Fast. Like your freaking veins shouldn't be popping out of your neck to sing.
Norbert Leo Butz sings anything, really, it never sounds like he's at the top of his range.
No.
It always sounds like he has 3 or 4 notes above.
And my fear here is that I think there's a big problem here. We have moved into a time where like this character is Jewish and the entire storyline is that
there's a song called Schmigadoon.
He is Jewish and that he's marrying a shiksa.
Yeah.
Is that still I don't know if that's an appropriate thing. Well, there's a song in it called Schmigadoon.
Does a shiksa have to be white or is it just not Jewish?
Not Jewish.
Not Jewish. Okay, so that'll still work.
So yeah, it works for that, but he should be Jewish.
Oh, because he's not Jewish.
Yeah, I think people are having some slight. I just think at this point, you could do better.
It is important to the plot.
You could do better. Well, like, I'm not going to be in a show where I'm playing like a, I don't know. I don't know what would be an equivalent. I actually, just like I don't think straight people should play gay characters anymore. Just kidding. Because I think gays should be, anyway, whatever. What the fuck ever. I just think he probably won't be able to act it very well. And that's going to be my impression. I think she'll probably tear it up because she sounded great.
Yeah,
and she's a Broadway. I mean, I know he was on Broadway.
He was Gavroche in Les Miserables.
Didn't he also replace, or he did?
Then he was Marius in like a concert. And he was, again, fine.
He was also in How to Succeed, the revival of it, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, Daniel Radcliffe was in that, and I think
what I'll say is the last 5 years is a 2-person show. So, like, literally, it's like him on stage singing an entire song.
Together. They sing together one time for like now, 16 bars.
I wouldn't be surprised if they incorporate each other somehow. Like they have them do shadow acting or something.
Yeah, I think they should.
Because they kind of did some of that. Okay. Brace yourself.
It's gonna be good. I'm sure we'll see all the clips on TikTok. Okay, this one.
Kiss of the Spiderwoman, which is a famous musical, which had Cheetah Rivera as the original Spider-Woman, right?
Yes.
J-Lo is going to be playing that role. And you know what?
I don't hate this for her. Role, I will say. It's like, it's not
a star. It's more like a part that like pops in, is flashy and does its thing and like holds this moment and then is gone. It's not like she has to do a lot of heavy lifting, I would say. But allegedly people are saying this might be her chance at an Oscar. So they say that about everything.
So babe, but sure.
You never know.
It just seems like this casting, like it seems like she's way too canceled at this point for that to even.
What I really like about this movie is actually what it's about is like 2 men in prison, and I think one of the men is trans. So
all right.
Well, it's not 2 men. So
who wrote Kiss of the Spider?
I think they're in the middle. I think it's Candor and Ebb.
Oh, I thought so too. Okay.
Yeah. I think when I say they're a man, and I think they're like in the middle of transitioning, or that's integral to the story. I've never actually seen it live, but I've heard all the songs from it and seen the thing. So I'm excited actually for it, and I'm excited to see something in where I don't have to be like, oh, J-Lo's playing Mama Rose. Oh fuck. Like, at least I can be like, well, she's playing the Spider-Woman. Cool.
Oh, God, can you imagine? Yeah. Oh, by the way, John, really quickly, I had on the list Kelly O'Hara in Hello, Dolly on Broadway, which is what you said. And you can't find that anywhere.
No. I said she's no. You mislistened.
Me?
Yes. That can be in our TikTok section because it actually goes along with TikTok.
Oh, okay,
because
great.
what I was saying is that they are alleging Kelly O'Hara is playing the adult Dolly Parton in the Dolly Parton musical. Not Hello Dolly.
Hello Dolly.
That's why you said something Hello Dolly, and I was like, wait.
Okay. John's like, Nick's like, what? She's like, that's like, I didn't hear that. I'm like, that's what John says. That's why I texted you last week and was like, where was Kelly O'Hara playing Dolly?
And didn't I respond back?
Broadway.
Dolly?
No, you wrote Broadway because I said, where is she playing Dolly?
And I thought you just mistyped and just wrote hello. And I was like, what? Why is this girl writing hello?
Anyway, here's something that is actually coming to Broadway. Schmigadoon, which
is it coming officially to Broadway?
I think it's the Kennedy Center, but it could go to Broadway. It's really, really good. It's on Apple Plus. I don't know if it got as much acclaim as it deserved, but I think it is I can't believe you haven't seen it because it is so funny. Every song, it's like the whole first season is like based on like classic, a golden age musicals. So there's like, it's all Music Man and like Oklahoma and stuff. And it's so funny. So I think that you would actually like it. But anyway, it's coming to the Kennedy Center and Anne Harada is in it as the character she played in Schmigadoon on Apple Plus.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. She's the original Christmas Eve in Avenue Q. Mm-hmm. And then who else? Oh, and the guy from Beetlejuice is the lead.
Alex Brightman?
And he's the original Bach in Wicked. Right? He is.
I don't think so.
I think so.
The original Bach. I'm going to need some confirmation here while I bring up this story.
Okay,
I'm going to need you to look that up. Hugh Jackman, Daddy Hugh, he's doing live shows at the Radio City Music Hall 2025. Hugh Jackman live from New York with love. How many fonts can we shove onto one fucking poster, y'all? This looks like shit. This looks like it was made in Canva. Like, God, I feel like our cover looks better than this crap. Anyway, he did his first showings, or maybe they weren't the first. This looks confusing. Radio City Music Hall, April 18th and 19th, May 23rd and 24th, June 20th and 21st, July 18th and 19th, July 15th and 16th. Because he already did one. So, what? I'm confused by these dates on this because they showed him performing this. I think Sutton's busy in the background.
I thought you were going to announce that Sutton's the lead in like
Sutton's pregnant with Hugh Jackman's baby, guys.
Well, okay.
Could you imagine? So this is interesting. He's doing like Greatest Showman songs. He's doing songs from like whatever, and
sounds like it's going to be a amazing night.
Most of the comments are like, he sure is having fun. They're like, he just does this to have fun, doesn't he?
Exactly what it is. It looks like he's having fun up there.
Which is great. And he is hot. I mean, and there is a part when he's singing with some random guy from the audience and he is like hanging on this dude. And I'm like, God, let me be that guy. I would hate to be pulled up like that, but he was like, let's share the mic. Their faces are this close. And I'm like,
I saw La Cage this weekend at the community theater. Yeah. And like she what's the main character's name? Alban. She's doing or Zaza. She's doing crowd work during like the drag stuff, and I was like, do not. She was like looking right at people and like asking questions that they had to call out answers to, and I was like, I will kill myself if she actually.
No. Sala Wallaway, I do want to mention, thank you. You just got your first ad during this. We do want to mention, so sorry. You may see ads, but we got to make our 50 cents. Sorry. We love you, though. And most, I think, are fine with that. The Traitors. Amanda was like, you're going to talk about the Traitors?
I fell off after Bob left.
Okay, well, I'm still on board because I was very much on, like, needing Boston Rob to get kicked off for kicking off Bob. You know, I was on a vengeance mission. This week's episode. Oh.
When did it air?
My God.
Like last night, right?
Last Thursday?
Oh, I'm that behind. Okay.
Yeah, so there's going to be a new one out tomorrow, I think, or
Okay, well then
I think it's tomorrow.
spoiler. I'll even put spoiler.
This is for last week, though.
Yeah, I know.
So like days ago.
Okay.
And I'm not going to give major spoilers. You guys already know who the traitors are: Danielle, Carolyn, Boston Rob. And people online are backing this up. These are like the worst traitors ever. Terrible.
Yeah, I'm saying that too.
Terrible. The only one that I like is Carolyn. And so like partway through this episode, I'm like, yes, Carolyn's winning. She's getting the winner's edit. She better motherfucking win. And then stupid Danielle starts throwing Carolyn under the bus. I'm like, did y'all forget that you have taken part of the beginning? The thing that Alan, you know what, oaths to offices don't matter anymore. But anyway, I was going to not shout into the mic today. So they took it like Alan at the beginning, Alan Cumming, he says like, you promise to like protect your fellow traders and like work together and blah, blah, blah. So within 2 episodes, we're throwing all of you under the bus so that everyone finds out who you are? This doesn't make sense, Danielle. You're dumb. You are dumb. Carolyn seems to be the only one who seems to have half a brain.
Starting to throw under the bus. Okay, so who goes home then?
They ended up voting out Nikki, who was the wrestling person. I'm thinking these people are morons.
Oh, yeah.
I really do, because you have not targeted a single Survivor person yet. Big Brother person yet. You haven't targeted like any of the game playing people. Housewives. You went after all the Real Housewives and then a wrestling person.
And the drag queen.
You know who's pissing me off too? Ivar. This Lord Ivar guy.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You know why? Because someone was I think it was Carolyn or one of the people was saying, I think Boston Rob said it to Ivar.
Oh, yeah.
And then Ivar went to the group where Boston Rob is sitting and is like, I just want to tell you, your name is being said around.
God, these people are bad.
Ivar, do you know how to play the game? You don't go tell the person who everyone is.
I have a question. How's Tom Sandoval holding up? Is he just kind of still in the background doing his own thing?
I hope he makes it to the finale. I really do. Because
I don't want him to make money though. You get more money, more episodes.
No, he won't make money if he's in the finale.
Well, yeah, but you get paid per episode.
Oh, you're right. But at the same time, I do want him to make money so he can pay his mom back for Schwartz and Sandy's.
I don't think that's his priority at the moment.
Well, I'm hoping his mom gets her $250,000 back that she gave him from her retirement from your closed restaurant because you fucked your girlfriend's best friend. Here's what I'm going to say. The biggest atrocity of this episode is this motherfucking hat. I whip my phone out so damn fast. Amanda?
I like it. I would never I don't wear it. If I wear a hat, I saw a TikTok like this where some girl's like, whenever I wear a baseball cap, I feel like everyone knows. Everyone can look at me and go, that girl usually doesn't wear hats. So that's why I don't wear hats. But this woman looks good in this hat.
I hate it. Here's my issue is the beach waves with it.
Oh, I think it looks
If you did it in a different way, I'm sorry, but just having beach waves and plopping this ugly ass hat on your head, I cannot. But every season,
what's it called? A pill something hat?
I don't think it is a pillbox hat because a pillbox fits like on top of your head. This like came down and was like, it was almost like a bucket hat made of wool with the brim flipped up. It was so freaking ugly. And I think next week Danielle wears it. All right, I want to do a quick dip into RHONY. I have dogged this shit out and I'm still going to, because they were touting that this finale was going to be explosive and it's all worth it and blah, blah, blah. And you know what happened was some egregious, terrible shit. It was basically outed that Brynn is a horrible liar. And she lied about something that actually is very dark and in a way that I'm like, I don't like this part of Real Housewives. I don't want to hear about people lying about how dark shit.
Is it like the cancer stuff?
No, it's like about SA.
Oh.
Like someone, basically Brynn said that she, like Uba, who's one of the other people, said something about like, oh, I don't know if you maybe slept with someone to get your job on here. Which, yes, you probably shouldn't say that. That's slut shaming, but they were in a fight.
Say that someone had high body count hair?
Yes, Angie K says a lot of shit things too, but they're all horrible.
Okay.
But Bryn then told everyone else that she had told Uba that she was R-worded. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And she's like, shouldn't have said that because she knows my past. She knows my past. Well, it comes out that she never said that to Uba, and Uba did not know. So everyone was gonna in the approach of ganging up on Uba and being like, you're a horrible person because you knew she had been this and that.
Yeah.
And so then they play this chain of all these times that Bryn has lied over and over and instigated all this shit. And so everyone hates Bryn now. Anyway, it's just, I don't know. I hate this show. It's not as good as
Everyone,
old RHONY.
I haven't heard a single good thing about that franchise.
It sucks. It really does. Speaking of franchises that Amanda's not wanting to,
I'm
over.
shocked. Every time I get on here, there's 25 pictures for Drag Race, and I can pretty much guarantee that John still hasn't actually watched an episode of this, yet insists on recapping it.
You're right. I haven't watched it yet because it's $45. Now, if they want to drop that price, maybe I'll jump in. But I ain't paying $45 to watch Drag Race. Drag Race season 17 is on. Actually, this week they did a really cool challenge, I will say. They did a thing where they used quotes from past seasons, the Laganja, put your lighters up, shit. And they basically had to make up songs using those, do a parody kind of song. And then they were worked on teams where they directed their own, each other's music videos, which I was like, that's actually a really cool idea. Thank you, Drag Race, for coming up with something slightly original. Thanks. I'm still going to say Anya Nerves, my girl, she won. Sorry. And they hate her. They are hating on her so bad. But sorry, you hate her because you ain't her, right?
You should just say that you watch this because I would never. How do you know all this? Okay, keep going.
Because I watch all the important clips. Crystal Envy is pulling ahead, I guess. She's fine. Everyone's like, oh, she should have won. I'm sorry. No, Anya Nerve still killing it. And I love her and love her name. Love it. Joella. Flop Tina. Just kidding. I actually am starting to feel kind of bad for Joella.
Okay.
But I 1000% believe Joella will be on a versus the world, an all-stars something. This girl, she does have an it factor. I'm not sure what it is, but there is an it factor.
But she's watchable.
My number one, though, and I'm feeling... No, Anya Nerve, love her. I do think she'll be in the final. I have a feeling... Winner energy, Miss Susie too, because her video killed it. And her whole thing is people are like, oh my God, she's so versatile. And that's what's really cool. She showed this Broadway, old timey energy. And then in this one, her song was a rock style where she's putting shit on, putting lipstick on the mirror, and she's playing I was like, oh my God, I'm feeling her and I love her, and she's a theater queen. Oh fuck, oh my God, she's
it's okay, we already teased it.
All right, guys, it's time.
Should we play the thing?
Of course.
Are you doing it?
Baby,
this was all for a bit. I
don't even know how this came about.
We are doing this for a bit. We watched Emilia Perez.
And I will say, I actually watched this, guys.
I did too.
I'm not recapping a recap here.
No, and this wasn't even something, because our plan was we'll throw this on and kind of talk about it. But no, you can't do that, because did you guys know
most of it's in Spanish?
The entire thing, except for 10 seconds.
Except for, so very nice to meet you. I've got to ask about sex change operation. I see. Vaginoplasty, penoplasty, and guys, you've heard that clip, I'm sure. And that is what they would call a what do they call that in a musical? A recitative.
What are you talking about?
I'm thinking like the thing that you hear often, like a pattern, like they play the same little.
Yeah, like the tag.
Sure.
The
because
chorus.
every song, besides like maybe 10 seconds in each song where they would have a melody, the first 30 seconds of a song was literally blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah.
We get it.
Go blah 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 blah. Then they repeat the same thing 12 times. This person, here's my problem. My ultimate issue here, and I'm sorry, I will let Amanda speak in a second. This man who created this is a cisgendered, heterosexual, white French man who, it seems, has decided they were going to choose buzz topics and think, you know what, I'm going to make a movie that's going to get me some shit. First of all, this didn't need to be a musical. I would have actually appreciated it if it wasn't. I have no
idea why it was.
Because the music was so bad. It literally was singing the same note over and over and what I've learned now through, first of all, this takes place in Mexico. People in Mexico hate this movie. Transgender people who this movie's about hate this movie. So the audience that you are portraying hates this movie. It does have a terrible depiction of Mexico. Literally, the first song of it is Zoe Saldana walking down the street singing some song, like being like blah blah blah. There's murder everywhere. And again, it's in Spanish. But also, that I have.
It's in Spanish, so you can't like. It's hard to connect with the music because
I've learned now they translated it using AI.
Oh, well, that definitely.
They wrote it in English, then translated it into Spanish using AI. I don't think this movie deserves to be thrown in the garbage based on the use of this egregious shit. All right. Zoe Saldana's walking down the street being like, observing what Mexico is. Okay. You know what happens? She's walking down the street, pans over, literally like a full-on stabbing. Someone's like stabbing someone in the street. Is that what, like, I've been to Mexico, like, and I know maybe I've only been to like, probably not that, but like, is that the message? The idea here, guys, Emilia Perez, if you didn't know, Emilia Perez starts the movie as a man, a drug cartel, a drug lord who was married to Selena Gomez's character. Okay.
Right. They
have children together. Emilia Perez decides they need to get a sex change in order to change, I guess, the world's perception of them being a drug cartel. I still didn't quite understand.
Is that what it was? No, I think they were also trying to escape, like, they're probably under a lot of scrutiny. But also, on top of that, they are transgender, so they want to have surgery.
Yes, but the ultimate line that like Zoe Saldana says is something like, the surgery changes society and society changes the surgery. And if the surgery changes society, then society changes it all. Some shit like that. All right. And so the idea here is that I actually don't know. And I tried to look up if this was a true story. It's not.
Well, obviously.
It would have made more sense to me if this were a true story, because who's sitting there like, let me see, I'm going to come up with an idea for a movie. I'm a French white dude who's heterosexual and cisgendered. I'm chilling at home and let me think, I'm going to make a movie about a Mexican drug cartel who decides to run away by becoming transgender and having really egregiously transphobic, almost sounding songs and numbers. And then they're going to do almost a Mrs.
hide in plain sight. They hide in plain sight for like the.
It's a Mrs. It is full on Mrs. Doubtfire.
It totally is Mrs. Doubtfire.
The second half of the movie is Emilia Perez coming back, pretending that they are like the cousin,
a long lost aunt or cousin, yeah.
And they pretend to be not the former drug to Selena Gomez, their former wife, and their former children.
But then the son recognizes the dad, or like that this is his father, I think, or the son is singing like, "Oh, you smell like my dad." It's weird. here's
the
what
craziest. Yes.
I thought that the music was the only thing that they've been showing us is how very nice to meet you. I want to know about sex change operation. That's all we've known.
It's better than that.
Honestly, without Wicked being a factor, I didn't like this movie, but I was like, it was visually very good to watch. It moved along very quickly. It's an easy watch. If you are, I was reading along as I always do, but the story itself is actually a pretty good A to Z storyline. It's simple and it just goes kind of song to song with minimal dialogue.
I think if they made it a normal movie then without the music, it would have been better.
The music was I kind of enjoyed the music. Again,
you're telling me
part of it.
You're telling me when they're riding in the like prison van thing before Emilia Perez transitions.
No, I hated that part.
There and Zoe Saldana is sitting there and their song is like this.
I fast forwarded through that song, I will say, but the upbeat songs are pretty.
Like, oh, pretty?
I thought they were catchy.
I think if this movie didn't suck so bad, by the time they got to the movie, the song that was about like immigrant or like people, like the people who are displaced in Mexico, etc. Yeah, but then when I know the truth, here's my thing. Okay, I'm gonna get real here for a second. When I was teaching, I did this whole campaign to get books donated to me because there's this program called Own Voices, okay, which was basically stories that were told from people who had maybe lived a similar life experience. So like, if you're telling a story about Mexico and all of that, the person maybe was from Mexico or had some type of that. It wasn't a French man writing a story about something he didn't really do much research on. And it's coming out that he didn't really consult people of Mexican heritage for the movie. And they scouted locations in Mexico, but then ended up just filming everything on sound stages in France. So what you're doing is you're perpetuating a message that Mexico is full of stabbings on the street, and that drug cartels can get that people use transitioning as a method of becoming a saint,
as like
erasing their problems.
A witness protection program too.
Because the end of the I'm gonna spoil the full end of the movie. You did watch to the end, right?
Yeah, but I had read ahead.
No one gives a fuck.
I would say don't spoil the end of the movie. Oh, but here's what I will spoil it in the way of saying it ended the exact same way that South Pacific ends, right? It might as well have ended with "Dites-moi pourquoi c'est maintenant."
Did it?
Yeah, because Zoe Saldana goes back with the kids, and it's like her and like the kids.
Oh well, yes, but the things that lead up to that. Please give us in the comments who's going to actually watch this, because I want to say the ending because you would never believe what happens.
Oh, maybe I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, I don't think you do. Emilia Perez. Anyway, anyone comments? Please let me know because I'm so itching.
Okay, we're gonna
to
spoil it now in 3, 2, 1.
Amelia Perez gets kidnapped by the partner of Selena Gomez, okay?
And Selena Gomez.
Okay? They're driving down the road. Selena Gomez must have a change of heart once she's like, that was my husband. And she's in the car. She starts wrestling the guy who's driving. There's a gunshot that you see from afar. And then guess what, guys? The car that had Selena Gomez and Emilia Perez drives off a cliff and they all die in a blazing fire.
Comes back to the kids and is like, I will raise you now as my own. And it's like, and I don't really know why Zoe Saldana is really in the movie. Like, I know that she's like a lawyer that is helping Emilia Perez to find a doctor for the transition. But then I guess she's just like Emilia's right-hand man the whole time or something.
It didn't really make sense because they have a song at a gala where that song was actually good. There's a song where Zoe Saldana is dancing on tables and doing all kinds of.
I really, honestly, whenever Zoe Saldana is doing something in this movie, I can take myself out of how like weird it is that this movie is doing so well, and I can enjoy just that. She's kind of really great.
I think if the music was written slightly better, like if there was even a melody to these songs and it wasn't just blah, 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 blah,
The
blah.
lady song I thought was really good. The one between the doctor and Zoe Saldana. But maybe that was because that was the first time Zoe Saldana was really singing. And I was like, oh, that is her voice, right? Like she has a great voice if that is
I could tell it was her voice because it's like, I did read one review that said the only good singer in this whole movie is Selena Gomez. But you should have put up actually, we should have put up the original song nominations because 2 songs from this are nominated.
Really?
For
Which
original
one?
song. It is one that Selena Gomez sings where she's like karaoke singing.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
she's like in this weird thing where she's like singing into a microphone and her like husband guy is like
her new lover.
It's called El Mal. And then the other one, I think, was the one where Zoe Saldana's like walking through the street.
Okay. No one
could not
watch this. No, and Jody, no, it was not all a dream.
It wasn't, unfortunately.
I thought the story was okay. Because then there's that moment where she's kidnapped and then they cut off her fingers and shit. And then she's sitting with Selena Gomez and Selena Gomez is like about to take her away and put her in the trunk to go kill her. And then she's like, starts singing the song about like their wedding night. And this is what happened on our wedding night.
We forgot to mention that there is a bit in the middle where Emilia Perez happens upon a mass grave of people that were killed by the cartel. So then by the end of the movie, they are carrying like giant saint figures of Emilia Perez through the streets of Mexico, calling Emilia Perez like basically a saint for this, but she was the cartel.
She was the cartel.
I'm kind of confused about the message this is sending. Is it that if you are a terrible person, I just feel like right now, okay,
transition to a woman, you're cleared.
With the climate for transgender people, I don't think this story is good for it. I think because they think that people are nefarious and being like, I'm going to be trans so I can go into little girls' bathrooms. That does not happen.
And it gives the idea that transgender people are just hiding something. They're trying to just get away. They're running away from their old life.
Now, Selena Gomez, I think, was god-awful in this.
Yeah, she was really bad. Like, really, I don't even dislike her. She was noticeably really bad.
She looked like, okay, she had one number where she was in a club dancing and stuff. And the other dancers actually looked, guys, the choreography in this was horrible too. I'm going to need them to stop doing, like, guys, we don't need to do hand tutting. We don't need to do, this is called tutting, right? Like,
oh, I thought it was just Vogue.
No, like when they're doing like stuff like this with their hands where it's like moving up and down your arms, like that is, she just does this, like she's doing this one scene, but she's like half a beat behind everyone because she must have just learned it 2 seconds ago. Right. It is so bad. I hate this movie.
I don't hate it. I'm just shocked that this is going to win everything. So I would say
that's why I hate it.
The songs, a couple of the songs are okay. Maybe listen to the soundtrack while you're out grocery shopping. All right, let's move on.
No. The one thing I would suggest not doing is listening to the songs, because that is where I, as a person who enjoys music and nuance and beautiful composing and Stephen Sondheim and even Lin-Manuel Miranda. I told Amanda, I texted her, I'm like, this just wants to be like Hamilton. I mean, it's not Hamilton at all, but I feel like that's where they chose their music style. Was like, oh, in Hamilton, they just kind of talk over a beat. Okay, now, guys, I'm penetrating Amanda's wormhole this week. I'm sorry, because I've fallen down a tiny wormhole. Amanda didn't even have one, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about this. I started Married to Medicine. I had always been apprehensive about Married to Medicine because I thought it was more like about like relationships. To me, the title Married to Medicine means it's going to be all about these women's like marriages. And I'm like, I don't really give a shit about your marriage that much. Oh no, this is basically Real Housewives, but a couple of them are doctors and then the rest are like married to doctors. Oh my God. I love this show so much. It is my new binge. I've watched the entire first season. So good. And it's basically now the thing that I like when I'm like, oh, what should I just put on in the background? Married to Medicine. Because, oh, baby, these women deliver. And what's amazing is a lot of them, I think they're on like season 20? I don't even know. It's been on a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of these women are the exact same from the beginning. This probably has the most consistent cast of like, it's more consistent than Real Housewives. Like, these women have been on since the beginning. So there is a.
You know what's more consistent? You know what's more consistent?
Sister Wives.
Sister Wives.
Oh, Doughboys.
Also Doughboys. They're on their 10th
Anyway,
season.
one thing I am excited about Married to Medicine is that, like, because it's not as like hyped up as the Real Housewives, like, I don't really know what happens throughout the seasons. Like, you kind of hear residually, you know, like Tom fucked with Luann. Oh God, sorry. You know, all of that. But here, I don't really know what's going to happen. So I'm not laying claim that I like certain people yet, because I feel like they're probably going to be like canceled at some point. So I'm not saying I like any of the women specifically, but I do really like this. And I really like seeing doctors, women doctors, Black women doctors.
Yeah.
It's like love that.
Great.
Thank you and good night. Time for
All right,
TikTok, baby.
Oh, we're into TikTok already. Oh my God.
TikTok, you don't stop.
And there we go. All right, lovely. Look at us on time here. I got my console.
I'm so happy. I just want to go through. I had actually quite a few things here for TikTok. We did talk about Elise. I don't think she's my favorite of the Dollies. The Dolly choices. There was one girl.
We didn't talk about Elise. We did. Well, let's explain this really quickly. They're doing a Dolly.
Like, you guys know about this, obviously, right?
Obviously, Elise Bell. They're doing a search for Dolly for Broadway. It's gonna be like Fun Home. Where there'll be like small Dolly, middle Dolly, and old Dolly.
And like the share.
That's what Kelly O'Hara is gonna be, which is insane.
Anyway. They're saying that Kelly, my bald spot. Look at.
It's given me a little bald spot too. Do you
this
see
is like the thing correcting to give me a fake bald.
I know, it's
really?
so annoying. This Elise Bell is the one that everyone is like. There's already TikTok sounds for this. She is great too. It's just It's the way she says her name too. It's she just all she says at the beginning is, "Hi, my name is Elise Bell, and I'm from New York. Why'd you come in here looking like that?" And it's just like she is Dolly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I know.
Interested to see how that all comes together.
Yeah, I also feel bad for other people though who are probably just as good, who just aren't getting as much.
I don't feel like they're going to cast this girl directly.
I don't think so either. She should, but that means they probably won't.
The thing is, though, listening to one person sing one song on TikTok is not equivalent to being in a Broadway show 8 shows a week, et cetera, et cetera.
But if she's also only going to be middle Dolly, she's probably only on stage for like 25 minutes. So it's probably.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know? Are you watching this guy? His name is Danny D, and he's a very good looking a dancer. I assume he's a dancer.
He's gay, right? I think he's
definitely gay. And it's with that song, Surprise, 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 Surprise. And it's just him, and it's just him giving out, what is it, hope core kind of, but it's more shout out Florida news of like, here's somebody that it's people getting what's coming to them. And then he just puts his leg up right at the end, like, yeah, it's fucking right. So check out.
There's a lot of people getting what's coming to them lately.
Whenever he comes up on my TikTok, I know that I'm gonna have at least a second of a dopamine hit. You know, like, oh, what bad thing happened to someone bad?
Well, think about that for a second, and then you know that trend that's been going around where it's like, you're funny. Oh, you're so funny, and then it's like,
yes,
I
said that to Jody
the
second I got it.
Did you see this one?
Oh, which one?
Look who this is.
Oh, all right.
Catherine McPhee. No one, first of all, Catherine,
also,
no one's ever told you you're funny. No. Get the fuck out of here. I don't need Catherine. This trend is for people like Amanda and I, not to be bitchy, but it's for people like, we're like, it's because I was an only child who would perform to like a bedroom of nothing because I had no one else to talk.
Yes.
Like,
and I was 5 pounds overweight all through the 90s, which means that I was basically, 6,000-pound sisters. Anyway, so what does it say? You're so funny. Thanks. All of America hated me at 20 years old because Chris Daughtry got less votes than me that one time.
Basically, I didn't remember this, but Chris Daughtry got kicked off and she beat him instead or whatever. Here's my thing. People are misinterpreting this. Like, there will be like beautiful girls on here being like, you're so funny. It's like, thanks, but every night I put on lip tape before I go to bed.
Thanks, I just drink a lot of water.
Like,
all right. Well, fuck you guys. By the way, guys, we're covering Smash next week on our Patreon.
That's why I thought this felt very appropriate. And when this popped up on my thing, I took a screenshot and then I blocked this bit.
I might ask Nick
that is what we're doing
for that one, actually.
Ooh, for next week?
Yeah, it's because it's the callback episode.
Oh, okay.
So I'll see if he wants to do it. All right, what else you got?
Here's my thing about this is I think, guys, we need to go into TikTok and block. I am hardcore blocking anyone like Catherine McPhee. Okay. Yes. Her situation with David Foster, and I can tell. Yeah. I know who she voted for. I can just tell. All right, so she deserves a hardcore block. She doesn't need to pop up in my FYP and make my pennies. All right.
The most egregious thing she's done is that she's really bad in Smash. Okay.
So this is just a smattering of things that have come up on mine. First of all, this woman came up on my thing because she works at a sports bar that's near here, Connolly's Grill or something. First of all, I think these women need to stop posting on TikTok being like, I'm working today at Connolly's bar. It's like, are you trying to get like kidnapped? I'm confused.
That's really stupid.
I'm at Connolly's till 2 a.m. Come check me out. Really? You want
it's like sending your kid out with like their name stitched to every article of the
or just like come take me. Put your kid out in a shirt that says take me. Anyway, this is one of the comments. Now I want to move to Phoenix and get divorced and leave my family. Wow.
I think this is kidding. That guy's kidding. His name is Lurking Guy Tom. Or he's being totally real.
I'm gonna guess he's not kidding. Then this guy is someone I follow because he goes on these rants. He's the one who did the Ariana Grande rant where he was like, no, Ariana, that's not your cookie. No, Ariana, that's not your skin color. You know, that whole thing. Well, he was doing a live, which I scrolled upon, and he's holding Ken dolls. And he is doing full on like scene work here. He's like, yeah, I don't care what you fucking did. Yeah, what the fuck? You totally fucked with her. Yeah, and I'm gonna fuck with you. I'm gonna beat your shit up. How dare you go out and do crack with her and blah, blah, blah. So this is the he does that. Jesus. He does this. And then they're fighting. Guys, check him out. His name is, what is it?
Bella Delgado.
Funny as hell. I love him. Then I wanted to give a shout out to this creator who I know Amanda hates the Muppets, but this guy.
I don't hate the Muppets. They scare me. They give me
I would literally, if the Muppets were real, I would be like best friends with
I like the fluffy Muppets, but like there are scary Muppets. You argue that there are terrifying Muppets?
No.
Like the life-size one, like the ogres, the one like the frog prince. Those are scary.
I think Muppets. They're hot.
I bet they.
This guy uses the Lego Muppet set and has built it and does live recreations over the. It's like literally the original audio from Muppet Show, and he does. Awesome. He plays it out throughout. So this is like the part where Gonzo is like on his motorcycle. He's like, I'm going to do a trick and whatever. And then he ends up like going and flying up into the Statler and Waldorf area and whatever.
I think that's awesome though, because there are people out there with these weird talents like this.
Seriously.
And they should be seen. So that's really, were there
a lot
of people watching this? Oh, you didn't click
There's a lot of people. I've watched it before. It's Trevor, Avery, Norky, Lego Muppet Show together again.
That's I love that.
Incredibly impressive because it goes like just it doesn't even stop. He just plays it and then is like
so he must like rehearse that first too.
He must.
I would be having a full panic attack the entire time if I were him.
I would too. So I love him. Alone. I'm gonna dip one tiny last little hottie before we drop it like it's hot. This guy was on what is his show? Jeopardy?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Anyway, the whole thing going around was that he did
AI. Oh, is that what you were gonna say?
No. People were saying that, first of all, it came out, they were saying that his outfit was inappropriate because you could see his hard nips. Second of all,
hey,
that one got
week,
Amanda.
That would have got me really horny. Just looking at that.
Then the thing that was going around was, he spelled Tinder Tindr, and everyone's like, "Oh, honey, you were thinking about Grindr, baby." And I just was like, I love it.
I know you.
So he is. I think he's. I mean, this man would.
Was that the correct answer? Tinder is the right answer.
I can't remember. I don't know. This is all I really saw about it.
You're a little flame. That's funny. I like this guy.
Yeah, and he has a TikTok. And I'm pretty sure I followed him. He's like cute, but at the same time, like, I'm sure this person would fucking talk shit about me, and like this side
never had to be funny. All right, well, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks, guys. Okay, a couple things though before we go. Yeah. I know some of you guys are still watching because you're popped in late. Keep writing comments.
Yeah.
Underneath. It really helps for our engagement. Now that we're at 1,000 subscribers, we're really trying to. I told Amanda that we need to get to 10,000 by next our 2-year anniversary.
Maybe. All right, and make sure that you check out our voicemail because we're going to be doing a mailbag at the end of February. So go to the voicemail; it's in the show notes, and you just respond to our email. We'll play it on the episode. It could be anything.
I also want to give one last tiny plug here for. If you made it this far, if you're jiving with us, maybe you could throw us $6 and get yourself some free some extra eppies on our Patreon, patreon.com/podinthecity. We love you guys so absolutely much.
Have a wonderful week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.